federal judge has stopped the Arizona immigration law. It was supposed to go into effect at midnight tonight, and already people had been gathering. They were daring the police to, check to see if they were immigrants or illegal immigrants or not. There was protests, and of course the sheriff over there was going to arrest everybody. We're going to get to that in a second. And all of a sudden, a federal judge comes in and goes, hold on. I'm stopping it. No mas. If she actually said no mas, that would have been awesome. Republican heads exploding. No. So she said, look, we got a number of issues with this law. And you know what? I partly agree with her and partly disagree with her. So she says the part of the law where you can, if you've pulled over anybody for any reason, you can ask them if they're illegal immigrants or not. That's going to ensnare a lot of legal residents here who don't happen to have their paperwork. It's not constitutional. She's against that. I agree with her there. Number two, the part of the law that says that people must carry around their papers all the time. She says that's not right. I totally agree with her. I mean, what are we, like East Germany during the Soviet era? Papers! Let alone Germany from the old days, right? No. We're America. We don't carry around our papers. Well, that's crazy talk, okay? JR, come on in.
Do I get to guess the part that you disagree with her on?
Yes, go.
Watch, check me, watch this. I've been working with you way too long. It's the part that says the people who are trying to get work and they're standing on corners or looking for individual work, daily workers, they don't have to have anything or any representation of legal status.
Bingo. J.R. Jackson, he knows his stuff, man. That's right. Look, there's a huge jurisdictional issue here. Should the state be allowed to even deal with these immigration matters at all, or should the federal government? That's a really close issue, if you ask me, and it might go one way or another depending on the particular part of the law that you're talking about. And I would hear that out a lot more if I was in court, would hear both sides, etc. So, and that's a real tight issue. But on some of the specifics like, hey, look, in Arizona, can I pass a law that says if you're out in a public sphere and you're trying to get a job, I can't have you being an illegal immigrant. I'm going to call that a crime in my state. I think, hell yes, you can do that. And now, my progressive friends will tell me they're not illegal immigrants, they're undocumented. And they're right about that. I know, because it's technically, not a crime. They just don't have the proper documents, etc. Come on. They're breaking the law. Okay, so you're going to come and tell me that I can't pass a law in my own state that says this guy who's breaking the law, I can, stop him if he's in a public area. Of course you can stop him if he's in a public area and he's breaking the law. So, yeah, I disagree with her there. The second part I disagree with her on is if someone's already been arrested, okay, well, that's, in my mind, is a totally separate matter, because that's not pulling people over on the side of the road going, hey, are you illegal or are you not illegal? And that's not racial. Someone has already been arrested for another crime. Then can I do some checking in to see if they're legal or illegal? I think almost certainly yes. I mean, I know I say yes to that. And I bet if that was the law alone, if they didn't overstretch on all the other stuff, and that was the law, you'd probably get, 70, 80, maybe 90% of the country agreeing with you on that law. Okay, I mean, I'm sure there'd be still some people saying, no, even if they're arrested, you shouldn't check their paperwork. I don't even see the logic behind that. So, and she said that you shouldn't. So I disagree with her on that. And the reason she says it is because she says, well, then you're going to hold up a lot of legal residents for a longer period of time while you're checking their paperwork. Well, then let's get the paperwork quicker. Okay, I don't want to be flippant about it. And no, I can't have you keeping a citizen or anybody in jail for a week or 2 weeks or a month while you check their paperwork. No, if that's the case, then I flipped over on her side. But assuming that we do it expeditiously, and by law you have to, well, then I say, yeah, of course you can check to see whether they're here legally or not. So there is a compromise here we can find. I think with whether it's the courts deciding on this, Arizona, setting their laws on this, or even on a federal scale. But we're not there yet. And so, and I want the people who are in favor of the Arizona law to understand what we're actually objecting to. We can't be East Germany. You can't go around to people that look Hispanic or Latino and say, I pulled you over because of your blinker, now show me your papers. That's crazy. That's not America, right? But once they're arrested, that's a whole different story. And on the jurisdictional issues, I'm going to do a rare thing we almost never do on the Young Turks. I'd have to have more evidence. I'm not ready to rule on that yet. I love to rule on things, but that's really a legal issue that you'd have to hear two qualified attorneys make a case on before you make a ruling on that. Because, look, let me just expand on that just a little bit. Now, there's a lot of liberal conservatives who say states' rights, of course Arizona should be allowed to do whatever they want. But there's also a lot of liberals who agree with states' rights because they say, oh, gay rights, right? Gay marriage, states' rights. So that's a complicated issue. And it's not, doesn't necessarily break down as conservative or liberal. In this case, you know, immigration issues, control of your borders, it's almost foreign policy. That's a very federal issue. So I'd be leaning towards the federal government. But things like where you know, public areas that JR alluded to, what you do once you've arrested somebody for state crimes, that's a lot, you know, it's much more shades of gray in that area, and I might rule with the state. Only the most reasonable man in America. That's all. That's all.